Oh my god, this is my first video on my new tripod. This is so exciting. I don't have it stacked on books anymore. It's my height. This is so great. Ah! Okay. So I am participating in the Reindeer Readathon, which starts, well, tomorrow for me. I don't know when you're going to see this. This may be a few days into the readathon. But I need to figure out what the heck I'm reading. Or at the very least, I need to get to the point where I can even start to figure that out, and I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so the Reindeer Readathon is hosted by Break Even Books with a number of hosts who are the captains of teams. I am on the Stockings team, which is run by Kristen from Kristen Craves Books. There's Team Mistletoe, which is run by Eric from Break Even Books. Team Snowflake is Noelle from Noelle's Pages. Team Nutcracker is Christine and Mo from the Roomies Digest. And then Team Candy Cane is co-hosted by Hannah from the Paperback Bruncher and Vanessa from Reading with Dr. B. So when you go to Eric's page, his YouTube page, and you look at the video for this, there's a sign-up form, and then he assigns you to a team. And the reason you're on a team is because this is a competitive readathon. So by completing the prompts, you gain points, and those points go towards your team total, and then obviously the more that you all complete together, the better it goes. So what I need to figure out is from the prompts list is what the heck I'm going to do. I don't want to say I've been in a reading slump because I literally just read 20 books in November. But I have been in a spot where it feels like my brain is meatloaf and I can only consume just like very specific things, and I'm ready to bust out of that. So I'm hoping this readathon will help me do that. So the prompts are named after the different reindeer. So the first one is Dasher, and it says, read a book where the title contains one of the first 5 words you see in the word grid on page 4. And I'm going to scroll down to that now. There's like a word search. So I see, what did it say, first 5 words? Yeah, one of the first 5 words. Okay. So the first word I see is fool. And then I see, I don't see anything. Secret. Sushi. Okay. Full, secret, sushi. Oh my god, this is so hard. Holly. That's 4. Number 5, please be a good word. Hell. Okay. So what did I say? I said fool, sushi, secret, hell, and Holly. Okay. So I have options here, and in fact, The Secret History has been on my TBR for a while. I've read some Dark Academia this year and last year, but I have not read The Foundation of All Dark Academia, so that's an option. I have several holiday romances tentatively on my TBR for this month, and I know at least 1 or 2 of them has Holly in the title. So that's good to know. Okay, so those are my options there. There's one of those 5 words. I've thought of, there's, You Make a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akweke Emezi. That's on my TBR. Wow. Hell. Oh, Suburban Hell is also something I've been thinking about reading. Man, okay, well, that was easy for me to think of. That's kind of surprising, honestly. That's great. So the next prompt is Dancer, and that's read a book with a title that has at least 5 words in the title. The one that comes to mind is the one where it's like, everyone in my family has killed somebody, which I believe is a locked-in mystery. I don't know for sure if that's the one that I will read, but that's one of the first ones that comes to mind. I don't know. Mysteries have been one of the few things I have been able to read outside of, I was reading a bunch of author romances. So I did read Daisy Darker, and that captured me. So maybe mystery is the way to go for that. Okay. Prancer, read a book set in a place you've never been. Huh. You know what? I have been watching a lot of videos about translated fiction recently, so maybe I'll pick something from, like, I added a bunch of those to my TBR on Storygraph, so maybe I'll pick one of those. That's an easy enough thing to figure out. Let's see. Vixen, read a book you've been putting off. Okay. Secret History has been one of those. Babel I've been putting off. I've been putting off Priory of the Orange Tree. What else have I been putting off? Brandon Sanderson as a whole. I read Warbreaker last year, I think, and I loved it, but it's a standalone. And his series intimidate me because the Cosmere it's a Cosmere. It's not just like, oh, this is a series of 6 books. It's a whole world. And he's got most of it fleshed out. And there's just so much. Like, how do you start? How do you start? Oh my gosh. So I've been putting off Brandon Sanderson for a very long time, but I like his writing. I liked it a lot. What else have I been putting off? Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. But Katie from Katie Colson just did that as her book club in her Patreon. And I didn't read it with everybody. I don't know why I didn't start it. Partly because my brain is meatloaf. But everyone had such mixed reviews. And I don't think she liked it at all. And that makes me nervous. That makes me so nervous. So that's another one I've been putting off. The next prompt is for Comet, and it says, read a book that starts with the same letter as your star sign. Well, I'm a Taurus, so that means I have to pick a book with a letter T. And because I like to make things hard for myself, I don't know what book I'm going to choose for this, but I am going to make the rule that I can't use an article like the or to. It's got to start with a word with the letter T that's not an article. Okay. So Cupid is read a book that has multiple points of view. Okay. I might have to think about that. Maybe I'll do something that's like a multi-generational like family story or something. Yeah. Actually, now that he says that multiple points of view, I often don't read books that have multiple points of view. That's interesting. Huh. Okay. Why don't I read? You know what? I read a lot of romance, and a lot of times you don't get the man's point of view, which, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Okay, the next one is Donner, and that's read a book with multiple animals on the cover. Okay. Multiple animals on the cover. I don't know if orcs count as animals, maybe, but on the second, Legends of Lattes book, Bookshops and Bone Dust, there's a dog and is that a cat? A giant mouse? There's some sort of something on here. And I don't know if I could read this first and that be okay. So I'll have to check that out. If not, then I might have to read Legends of Lattes first and then Bookshops and Bone Dust. Because I don't know if I have any other books that have multiple animals on the cover. Okay, so we'll have to figure something out for the animals on the cover, because, yeah. Okay, so Blitzen, roll a dice or use a random number generator, numbers 1 through 6. The number you get multiplied by 100 is the minimum amount of pages the book needs to have. Okay, that's dangerous. So I'm going to do that, so let's see. Alright, a wheel, and we're going to spin. I'm so scared. And the number is 5. Oh God, the book has to have a minimum of 500 pages. Okay, well, Brandon Sanderson could be the answer to that. I also have kind of been wanting to reread A Little Life, which I don't know what that says about the state of my mental health, but that I know is well over 500 pages. Okay, and then the last reindeer is Rudolph, and it's read a book that came out before you were born or a book that came out in 2023. I don't know how I'm going to choose that one. I like the idea of reading something before I was born, which means I'm going to have to read something. Ooh, wow, okay. I don't know if I wanted to read something from the 80s or 90. I was born in 91, so that could get... We'll see. I have some classics, actually, on my TBR, so maybe I could do that. I've been wanting to revisit some. In fact, one of my Bookstagram friends was recently reading Wuthering Heights, and I loathed that book in high school. But I feel like I might enjoy Heathcliff now as an adult, so maybe I'll do that. And that's well before I was born, obviously. So that could be an easy one. Okay. Okay, so then there are the extras. So there are some rules here. So you get bonus points for a book over 500 pages. You can do bonus points for an ebook or an audiobook. And all those have fun names. So Christmas Star is a book over 500 pages, and that's an additional 25 points. Christmas Lights, which is 15 points, is an ebook. Christmas Carols is 20 points, which is an audiobook. Christmas Tree is 20 points, and that is branch out and read a book you wouldn't typically go for. And I have been looking at some horror titles. She doesn't normally read horror, but I've been interested. Christmas Elf for 15 points, a book that has been on your shelf or TBR for a long time. I have plenty of those. And then Slaying It is 50 points. It says if you've completed all of your prompts and the Christmas bonus prompts, you can redo one prompt of your choice for extra points. Okay. So you must complete the book in order to claim the prompt. So you can't like DNF and, go, I was 75% in. Like, you have to finish the book. You can't double up. So each book can only have one prompt. And if you're going for bonus points, this book can only have one bonus. Okay. The bonus must be used in conjunction with an existing prompt. It does not count as an additional book. So that's kind of nice for people who don't read a ton in a month. So like I said, I read 20 books last month, which is not normal for me, I will say. But even still, I tend to hit double digits. So for me, reading, let's see, how many reindeer are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 reindeer. Like 9 books in a month is not a problem for me on a regular basis. So I like this though, because 9 books can be a lot for folks, especially during December. It's like there's Christmas parties and, work and family and all of that. So it's nice that your bonus points are paired with a prompt, or you pair them with a prompt. So that's great, which means Christmas Star for me, which is the book over 500 pages, is automatically going with Blitzen since I rolled a 5 on that wheel. So, okay, great. So it doesn't count as an additional book, which is fine. Each prompt can only be done once unless you're going for the Slaying It bonus. And then all bonuses can only be redeemed once unless you're unable to do a bonus prompt due to a disability, impairment, or sensory issue. Well, cool. Okay, I'm really excited for this readathon. I never do an end of year one, so this is going to be a good time. And wish me luck. Hopefully this goes well. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon.